Channel 8.
Rained out. Hundreds were ready and willing to march in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., but the weather proved to be too much.
And an ATV tragedy. A boy too young to drive a car, dies behind the handlebars of an all-terrain vehicle.
And from water bills in the hundreds of dollars to now in the thousands. Our 8 on Your Side investigation triggers more outrage over high water bills in Tampa.
Live from the News Center in high definition, this is News Channel 8 on Your Side at 6.
Good evening, I'm Keith Tate.
And I'm Stacy Scheibel. Thank you for joining us tonight. Wind and rain are a bad combination for a parade, and it was bad weather that put a damper on Martin Luther King Jr. festivities all over the Bay Area today. Work crews in Tampa were the only ones along the parade route this morning. Organizers held out hope the weather would improve, but when it did not, parades in Tampa and St. Pete were canceled today. We're going to have more on that in just a moment. Dark clouds lingered above Davis Islands today. Much of the Bay Area was under a tornado watch until late this afternoon. Storm Team 8 Chief Meteorologist Steve Jervy joins us from the Forecast Center with more on what we can expect tonight. Steve?
Should be quiet, Stacy, and as you mentioned, that tornado watch has been canceled now. It was in effect until 7 p.m., but that's out of there. Let's take a look outside here, and you can see some clearing taking place at the Sand Pearl, where at the bottom, the rainfall number there, 3.22 inches. Pretty impressive out there at Clearwater Beach. Down to the south is where the rain remains now. A line of thunderstorms moving through the Keys at this point could produce some strong wind gusts for that area. Just you folks in southern Highlands County, just the southeastern part of DeSoto County too, seeing some showers, the tail end of this. So we'll leave a slight chance in the forecast, really not only tonight, but overnight and into tomorrow, but a very small chance of seeing a shower. Impressive totals, as I mentioned, 2.17 inches of rain. That's a new record for Tampa International Airport for this day. Clearwater over 2 inches of rain, but other spots, Winter Haven, Sarasota, Brooksville, didn't get much at all. So we've been talking a lot about rainfall totals, but many folks didn't see much at all. These folks did. This is from our viewer totals here, just reporting in their backyards. Well over 3.5 inches of rain, fairly routine in some of these areas where the heavier rain fell. But it is tough to see on a day like this where you have a holiday, you want to get parade activities in, and you have bad weather, and other folks didn't see anything. It's nice to get the rain during the dry season.
You're absolutely right about that. Thanks, Steve. Right. Your Storm Team 8 forecast is always just a click away. Search weather from TBO.com to see if storm clouds are coming to your neighborhood.
These strong storms brought some disappointment for thousands of people in St. Petersburg. For the first time in 26 years, organizers had to cancel the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Drum Major for Justice Parade. As News Channel 8's Yolanda Fernandez explains, the city waited until the 11th hour to make that unpopular decision.
The news didn't go over too well with the kids from the Jones High School marching band.
And Mr. Redden's going to figure out what we're going to do.
They drove from Orlando only to learn the Martin Luther King Jr. Drum Major for Justice Parade in St. Petersburg was canceled.
I was going to break it down out here. I was going to do some good stuff. I was going to break it down. But maybe next time.
About 21 bands and 100 other floats and groups went home disappointed. But earlier in the morning, despite cancellation of other area events, the St. Petersburg parade was still a go. The city and the parade organizers were ready. They set up miles of barricade, and the vendors came up and set up this morning in hopes that the parade would go on in the rain. Kamiko Fullard watched the weather reports before leaving her home in Avon Park.
But St. Pete was going to keep theirs going because Martin Luther King marched in the rain, so they was going to follow his footsteps and march in the rain. So I thought it was still going to be going on, but evidently not.
St. Petersburg Mayor Bill Foster explained why they waited until the last hour.
We were going to do everything we could, and once we looked at the radar and knowing that there are some funnel clouds lurking out there, we decided for the safety of the participants and those coming to watch that we needed to cancel.
Vendors were especially hard hit. The Brick House Barbecue lost $5,000 to $6,000.
Don't want to see anybody get hurt out here either. Maybe next year will be a better year to do this, and we'll be here again next year to do it all over again.
It only rained on this parade once in 26 years, so the odds are good for next year. In St. Petersburg, Yolanda Fernandez, News Channel 8.
A spokesperson for the city says the parade will not be rescheduled because of the number of out-of-town entries, and the size of the event makes it too difficult to do it again. Anyway, this rain canceled parades But there were other ways to honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. today. This was the 25th year for the prayer breakfast dedicated to the civil rights leader in St. Petersburg. Hundreds of people jammed the Coliseum for food, fellowship, and inspiring speeches. This annual event benefits the National Council of Negro Women.
Tampa police now have at least basic descriptions of two rapists, accused rapists at Jefferson High School. One, a black male with a light complexion between the ages of 16 and 17. The other, a black male with a dark complexion between the ages of 18 and 21. The reported victim said that he had short black hair and thin facial hair. A 17-year-old student told police she was sexually assaulted in the Jefferson High School auditorium last Tuesday. Investigators are testing her clothing for DNA evidence. Tonight, whoever killed Robin Windsor inside her Lakeland apartment is still on the loose, and police are hoping the public will come forward with some clues in the case. Detectives say they found Windsor murdered inside her home Friday night, although they are not releasing how she was killed. Friends of the 53-year-old church choir member say her murder is absolutely stunning.
I just can't imagine what happened. Well, I can imagine all sorts of things, but I don't want to. I want to know the facts. I want to know what happened.
Police say they want to locate a person or people that Robin Windsor may have led into her home for a meal in the days leading up to her murder. They'd like to determine if those individuals might have any connection to the crime.
A deadly weekend accident has parents across the Bay Area talking about ATV safety. The head-on crash happened around 5 o'clock Saturday afternoon near Joe Wood Circle in Northport, a known hotspot for all-terrain vehicles. News channelist Jackie Barron has details on the boy who died and a vow for better training.
A soggy day kept the crowd to a minimum at an ATV hotspot in Northport. 2 days earlier, a much different scene when people rushed to help a pair of young boys.
I never expected to find a little 12-year-old boy with
Virginia Robinson performed CPR, her husband Lane by her side.
I mean, I held his hand. I tried to comfort him, you know.
Doctors later pronounced 12-year-old Wyatt Grimes dead. His 11-year-old passenger, Daniel Weiss, survived. Initial police reports say as the two boys came around the bend, another person on a dirt bike cut them off, causing them to lose control, with Wyatt Grimes crashing head-on into a nearby tree.
I mean, it's a tragedy, and we need to learn from this.
Now ATV enthusiast Lane Robinson has started making calls. He wants to organize a community rally to raise awareness about a greater need for ATV safety education.
There isn't training, okay? There isn't, you know, you go buy a four-wheeler, you know, they want your, you know, $6,000, you know what I'm saying? And they, you know, sell you a foil, give you a set of keys, and here, maybe sell you an $80 helmet.
Wyatt Grimes and his passenger were wearing helmets as required by state law for anyone under 16.
Some of them things go 100 miles an hour.
I wanted the little boy to be okay.
As for Virginia Robinson, she can't stop thinking about the boy she tried to help. She followed the ambulance to the hospital.
The family allowed me to go in without my family to say goodbye to the young man.
Robinson hopes a safety rally helps send a message and save another life in memory of Wyatt. In Northport, Jackie Barron, News Channel 8.
According to the U.S. Product Safety Commission, 86 people died in Florida in ATV-related deaths between 2007 and 2009. On TBO.com, we have a link to the state site that details ATV regulations, including a safety course for drivers under 16. Type links into the search box to get to that webpage.
Two pit bulls are trying to bounce back after near-death experiences caused by neglect. We have a warning for you. The video of these dogs is difficult to watch. Animal control officers found one of the pit bulls, named Barnaby, wandering in East Tampa. He weighed about half of what he should at his age. The other, Honey Bun, you see here, came from Miami and has a skin condition that has essentially eaten the hair off of her body. The Rugaz Rescue is nursing both of these dogs back to health. Its director says they've seen a dramatic increase in pit bull neglect, and that could be in part because of the economy. A former Krispy Kreme employee says there's a sticky situation at a store on North Florida Avenue in Tampa. Honeybees are landing on the gooey donuts there. Sean Salinas has been shooting video since he started noticing the problem last July. You can see bug traps overflowing with bees, bees on donuts and bees swarming the dumpsters out back. The store makes donuts that are delivered to gas stations and grocery stores all over Central Florida. He says he complained to management numerous times but quit last week because the problem never got fixed.
They don't care about me. They don't care about you. They just care about the dollar they're making off these donuts, whether a bee landed on it or not.
A Krispy Kreme manager would not go on camera, but says the store has had numerous inspections and is taking care of the problem, but the store wouldn't let our cameras in to see for ourselves. A pest control expert we asked to watch the video says it looks to him like the hive or a hive must be close by and needs to be treated to get rid of the problem.
Our 8 on Your Side investigation on high water bills has a new record holder, a homeowner with $2,700 in water bills. He wants to know, where'd the water go?
I would think the house would be afloat, the yard would be flooded, the lake behind the house, which has gone down because of lack of rain, would be full.
Coming up next, neighbors in part of a new Tampa area speculate on why the bills are so high. Plus, thrill seekers take note, something new about a Busch Gardens favorite.
1 week ago, we first shed light on a problem that now apparently is more widespread in the city of Tampa than we originally thought. Abnormally high water bills. More people are writing and calling 8 on Your Side, now numbering in the hundreds, to report similar problems. They want a logical explanation, but as our 8 on Your Side investigation continues, we're finding there is more digging to be done.
I never thought mine would be $2,753 until I got it Saturday.
Mike Tucker wins the prize among his neighbors for the highest water bill in his area of Hunters Green.
I would think the house would be afloat, the yard would be flooded, the lake behind the house, which has gone down because of lack of rain, would be full. 207,000 gallons of water in 60 days.
Only Tucker and his wife live in this house.
And I almost choked.
Father Dave DiGiulio has the next highest water bill in this group at $1,400, and he lives alone.
I do take 1 shower a day, or maybe 2 sometimes, but there's nowhere near I would use that amount of water.
Single mom Fern Rabel's bill is $445, up from an average of about $70 a month. She called the Tampa Water Department the day she got her bill.
It's probably a leak and that I need to have it checked. So I had a plumber come out and I paid $138 to hear that I have no leaks in my meter. Everything appears to be normal and dry, and the meter seems to be working normally.
These Hunters Green neighbors all believe there is an explanation, but feel the city of Tampa needs to do more to figure out what it is. They do not believe leaky toilets or irrigation system problems can explain these enormous spikes in their water bills.
There's too many people. It's in the gyms, it's in the grocery stores, it's everywhere you go. The people are talking about the increased water rates.
What do you make of it?
A systemic issue. I mean, I'm not an engineer. I don't know how they do these things, but something isn't right. And with the multiple points of failure that you have in a situation like this, they need to investigate it thoroughly.
What do you think's going on?
I think it's a computer issue. I think it's a malfunction somewhere in the computers.
What do you think's going on? Do you have a guess?
Stacy, if I knew that, I'd probably run for mayor of Tampa at this point. So I have no idea.
And Father DiGiulio even quipped that only God knows what's going on with these high bills. Of course, I asked if he could please ask him. We can get to the bottom of it, to which he responded, I'm only in sales with the church, not management. So they had a sense of humor about it.
Cue the rim shot, but it's serious business.
It is, and we hear from so many people. We're continuing to follow the story because these folks are not satisfied with the answers that have been provided by the water department thus far, and they think more digging needs to be done.
You know, one of those individuals had an interesting point. We have 6 people running for the mayor of Tampa. That election's March 1st. They might want to jump on board, and maybe they want to campaign to figure out what's going on if the city can't seem to come up with an answer
right,
that satisfies the people who vote.
In fact, I, of course, called the city, the water department today. City offices are closed because of the MLK holiday, so we're, of course, giving them a break there. They weren't there, but we will check for the very latest developments in the morning, see what they have to say.
Yeah, we'd like to do stories when all the water bills were really low. I wonder if the city would have answers then.
And we know there are
they're
people
so
whose water bills are normal, but it's the people with the abnormally high ones who want answers.
All right, stay on it. Chief Meteorologist Steve Jervis joining us next for the forecast.